Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
Jimmy Uso defeated JC Mateo.
Zelina Vega defeated Piper Niven in a Bakersfield Brawl.
LA Knight defeated Aleister Black via DQ after interference from Seth Rollins.
Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss and Stephanie Vaquer defeated Naomi, Roxanne, Perez and Julia in a 6-woman tag match.
And Penta and Andrade defeated American Made. Now, if you want to know how all that plays out...
Seth invades SmackDown.
Someone has no brains.
And SmackDown is still 3 hours.
We open with Seth Rollins and co. No, this isn't Raw, and after vowing to win Money in the Bank, Seth says he's on SmackDown to deliver a message. I thought that was Andrade's job. Anyone who stands in his way will suffer the same fate as anyone who has already stood in their way, and there is nobody who can stop him. So out come Bloodline 3.0. Solo says Seth seems to have a little bloodline going on, asking Bron Breakker if he's right-hand man Jey Uso, and Bronson Reed if he's honorary Us Sami Zayn. Seth asks Solo if he's threatened that Breakker is the future of the industry and he isn't, or that Reed could squash him at the snap of his fingers. Seth then tells Solo that he should really be worried about his own family and how they'd rather stab him in the back rather than have his back. Seth goes Jacob to speak, but to no avail, and then comes up with a new nickname for him, Solo's Pitch. Seth adds that he is worried a little bit by one Fatu in the ring, and then looks at Jacob, with Solo then throwing his mic and removing his jacket. Bron then steps between the two leaders, squaring up to Solo, with Fatu then stepping up to Bron. Seth then steps between those two and calls the whole thing off, before exiting the ring with his attack dogs in tow. Solo and co look on as Seth leaves, only for Jimmy Uso to get in the ring from behind and attack the Bloodline. Now, this was a brilliant start, in my opinion. This is what you need.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it does need this.
Yeah.
But the thing that didn't make it truly epic, which was unfortunate, was that Bloodline 3.0 don't all see eye to eye. They're not a fully functioning unit. So I didn't get the, oh, here we go!
Yeah.
Because you've gone from, when's Jacob going to turn on Solo, to, hey, we're one big happy family. And that, you know, the idea was brilliant. But it would have been better had there been no infighting between the Samoans. It was like, oh, here we go! Like if the Bloodline had been truly dominating SmackDown. But
exactly,
you know they're fighting amongst themselves, so they haven't got each other's back.
No.
But apart from that, good opening.
Yes.
Let's see where we go. It's all downhill from here.
We break, come back and see the first match of the night already underway. Jimmy Uso versus JC Mateo. Solo still has the offer open for Jimmy to come back. But of course, Jimmy isn't interested, which is much to his detriment as he takes a beating from the former Olympian. Jimmy fights back with 2 super kicks and then looks for the Uso splash, but as he heads up top, Solo and then Fatu both get on the apron. Jimmy confronts Fatu, but as he does, JC runs at Jimmy, with Jimmy, of course, dodging out of the way. This causes JC to knock Fatu off the apron, with Jimmy then rolling up JC from behind and getting the victory. After the match, JC is seen pointing at Fatu and telling Solo that he is the problem, which strengthens what you alluded to earlier, that the Bloodline 3.0 are not a cohesive unit. And it's hard to believe that they could or would be able to work together at the moment.
And that's, as I say, that was the little dampener on that opener. Backstage, we see Julia and Zelina Vega having a chat, with Vega saying she worked hard to get her title and she's not giving it up lightly.
We then see Damien Priest speaking with Jacob Fatu, with Priest saying that at some point he's coming for the US Championship. Fatu says, okay, but if you lose, then you go to the back of the line.
And I like that. As I said before, I like people going up to other people saying, I want a shot at your title. I haven't got a problem with that.
No.
There's too much feuding with other things. No, just go for the title. That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
Next up, a Bakersfield Brawl.
What?
No idea. Between Zelina Vega and Piper Niven, there are no countouts or disqualifications, with a win coming via pinfall or submission. Piper is, of course, with fire and green. Vega uses a kendo stick early, sending Niven to the outside, but Vega can't continue the punishment on the floor and suffers a crossbody against the LED ring skirt. Ouch.
Back from the break, we're in the ring and Niven is trying to choke Vega with a chain and then attempts to drop her on a chair. Only Vega counters into a DDT, with Niven then rolling out the ring. Vega follows with a moonsault to the Secret Service before we head back in the ring and see Vega hitting a super code red because it's off the second rope and then covering for 2 as Fire pulled Vega off. Green then attacked Vega, with Niven asking Fire to get the tables.
Fire sets a table up in the ring, with Niven setting Vega on it before ascending the ropes. As she does, Julia springs from the crowd, taking out Green and Fire, with Vega then coming to and trying to powerbomb Niven through the table. Niven holds onto the ropes for dear life until she's attacked by Julia with a kendo stick. This ultimately ends up with Niven letting go of the ropes and going through the aforementioned table. Vega then pins Piper for the 1, 2, 3. Julia raises Vega's hand in victory, but you guessed it, then attacks her. Please let Vega be done with the Secret Service. She's beat Green countless times. She beat Niven. She beat Fire.
Yeah.
This is it now.
Yeah.
Let's move on from
Done.
that. Julia's coming in. You see what I mean? I've gone from a joker character, Green, to a serious contender in Julia. That's what I mean. It didn't sit well with me, that US belt on Green. It's not right.
Yeah.
But please, let's move on from this now. Thank you.
In the locker room, we see Jey when in walks Cody Rhodes. Cody asks him if he's alright. When in walks Jimmy, who also asks Jey if he's okay.
It's alright, brotherly love.
Jey asks why is everyone asking if he's okay, and then says all we have to worry about is what Cena and Paul have to say later.
Aleister Black, in a vignette, can't get over LA Knight stealing the pin when the pair fought with Shinsuke in the triple threat qualifying match for Money in the Bank, and so are having a fight. Next.
Knight comes out first and runs through the other 5 men he'll be facing off against at Money in the Bank. He has a little respect for Andrade and Penta before saying we then go over to the goon side of things. Listing off El Grande, Solo and Seth, with Knight adding that Seth's not going to burn anything down, he's going to get burned.
Ooh.
Now that's done, Black makes his entrance.
Can I just interject here that the very start, I mean, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but I have, at the very start of Black's entrance music, like the first 30 seconds-ish, it sounds like and kind of reminds me of a bad guy's music from an 80s cop film. Like the very first time you see the bad guy, that music, in my opinion, would play. Go back and listen to it and you'd be like, yeah, 80s cop show. Something like Die Hard or Lethal Weapon or something back in the day like that. You're like, oh, that's bad guy music. Anyway, enough of that, on with the show.
We start with pinfall attempts and a push away BFT and missed Black Mass. We then have some back and forth with Black going for a springboard move only for Knight to knock him from the ropes, sending both men tumbling to the outside. We come back from the break to see Black this time successfully hit his springboard moonsault and cover for 2. We then have another missed BFT and Black Mass before the pair run through their repertoire of moves, jumping neck breakers, kicks and strikes, and then burning hammer from Knight, with Black then rolling from the ring.
All of a sudden, from nowhere, Seth Rollins stomps Knight with, of course, the ref calling for the bell, and then looks to hit Knight again. Only Black steps between the pair. Seth backs up, only for Breaker to then spear Black and Reed to send on Knight. Breaker then spears Knight, with Seth and Bronson then standing over a downed LA.
We hear from Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis next, and they announce that next week we'll be kicking off King and Queen of the Ring. The winner of each will be getting a title shot at the champion of their brand, Raw or SmackDown, at SummerSlam.
Let's hope that they keep their crowns on a bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Backstage with Byron Saxton, and he's with Jade Cargill. He asks her how it feels to get an opportunity at Queen of the Ring, with her reply being that she's going to tear it up. Byron then asks how things are between her and Bianca Belair, but before she gets a chance to answer, Charlotte Flair appears. Flair tells Jade she can think again if she thinks she's going to win Queen of the Ring, saying there's only one queen in WWE. Tiffany Stratton then shows up, says good luck with that ladies, and then heads off to the ring.
We have a vignette from Santos Escobar and his crew next, who say that they're going to establish who owns Lucha Libre, as they have a match at Worlds Collide against Psycho Clown, Pagano, and Dr. Wagner III.
And I, for one, cannot wait. Or is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Sorry. Byron Saxton is backstage again with Chad Gable and American Made, and he's asking how he's feeling about taking on Vikingo for his world title. Gable is confident he's going to win and bring home the AAA Mega Championship, as he puts it. Andrade then rolls up and starts speaking Spanish to Gable, with Gable just saying, "Si." Penta then joins them, with Andrade and Penta having a laugh at Gable's expense. Gable says enough, with the five men then nearly coming to blows. Nick Aldis then steps in, making a match between American Made and Andrade and Penta, which is what we all wanted.
Definitely. In the ring with Tiffany Stratton next, and she just says, well, not much really, only that everyone in the Money in the Bank match is championship material, and that whoever wins the match, their world will be revolving around her. This prompts Rhea Ripley to head out and get in the ring and tell Stratton that she knows what it's like to be a champion and that she misses the feeling. Stephanie Vaquer then heads out for her match next.
So, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss and Stephanie Vaquer take on Naomi, Roxanne, Perez and Julia in a 6-woman tag match. Too much happens to run a play-by-play, so to cut a long story short, we get all 6 women fighting in the ring near the start, with Vaquer taking a beating from Julia, Perez and Naomi. Bliss then comes in and brawls with Naomi, with Naomi getting the upper hand, only for Bliss to make the tag to Ripley, who destroys the opposition.
Rhea goes for Riptide, but Perez reverses it into a DDT, which Ripley sells amazingly.
If you get a chance to watch it, watch that move, and it's fantastic how Ripley does it.
With Perez then looking to tag in Naomi. What Perez doesn't realise is that the opposition have gathered in the ring behind her, of which Naomi wants no part of, so drops to the floor, leaving Perez to handle it herself. One Riptide later, and a cover by Ripley leads to a win for her and her teammates.
Backstage we see Solo speaking with JC, JC questioning whether Jacob can be trusted. Solo tells JC not to worry about him as long as he follows his lead. JC then questions if Jacob will follow Solo, with Solo saying Jacob loves him, but he's not all the way that smart in the head. He's all gas and no brains. The two then head off, with Jacob then appearing in a doorway he was hiding through. Which just adds to what we said earlier, Team Bloodline are not on the same page.
Nope.
And that's what kind of just took the shine off that start.
We had a vignette from Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy next, with a message seemingly to target the tag division, Bo looking very, very similar to his brother. We then cut to all the SmackDown tag teams in the back, with Ford saying they know they're all afraid. Dawkins then says they're the real boogeyman around here, with Fraxium saying they're going to teach the Wyatts a lesson. Motor City then also say they want to get their hands on the Wyatts. So expect a match a week between the Wyatts and one of the tag teams we've just mentioned.
Last match of the night, Penta and Andrade versus American Made. Gable is with American Made and Vikingo is in the crowd. Pendrade dive out the ring before the match has even begun, with Andrade and Brutus then kicking things off when the bell does ring. He soon tags out though, allowing Penta to do his headstand double stomp in the corner to both Creeds before chopping both and tagging Andrade back in. Andrade gets beaten up as the Creeds take turns to put the hurt on him, but back from the break he manages to tag in Penta.
Penta throws Brutus out the ring to concentrate on Julius, but as Gable tries to pull Julius to the apron, Andrade gets in the ring to complain to the ref. The ref, dealing with Andrade, doesn't see Gable, then trying to remove Penta's mask, which in turn brings in Vikingo, who pulls Gable from the apron, with the two then fighting off into the crowd.
What a surprise. Back in the ring, and after 2 back elbows from Andrade on the Creeds, Penta finishes Julius with a Mexican Destroyer and covers for the win. As the two luchadors celebrate on the ropes, Burn It Down rings out with Seth and crew heading out and circling the ring. Of course, they get in the ring and cause devastation, with Bron spearing Andrade and Reed sentoning Penta. Seth then gives both men a stomp before Reed tsunamis Penta. I don't know what Penta's done to deserve that. Backstage hands then head out but fail to get in the ring.
We hit a break, come back and find Heyman on the mic, saying that they're the destiny of the WWE, with Seth becoming Mr. Money in the Bank at Money in the Bank. Heyman's about to say what an honour it'll be to say the reigning, defending, etc, etc, when he's cut off by Cody Rhodes' music playing out. Rhodes gets in the ring with Seth stepping up to him, but that's interrupted by Jey Uso coming out. As Jey heads to the ring, Seth says something to Rhodes, with Team Rollins then exiting the ring.
We come back from yet another break, with Rhodes asking the crowd what they want to talk about, when I thought we were supposed to be having one final face-to-face with Cena and Paul. Rhodes says the match at Money in the Bank is a showdown, with Jey calling it a yeet down. Cena then makes his way out and enters the ring, asking Mark Nash to introduce him. As he does, Logan Paul attacks Jey from behind, with Rhodes then grabbing Paul and setting him up for a crossroads. Cena puts a stop to that by hitting Rhodes with a belt and then AAing Jey, while Paul hits a pulverizer on Rhodes and then follows up with a frog splash to both Rhodes and Jey.
Paul grabs the World Heavyweight title while Cena grabs the mic and then reiterates that he's taking his title home while Paul will take the heavyweight belt to the top. Cena then tells the crowd to humble themselves to the future heavyweight champion, Logan Paul. Cena rolls Rhodes back into the ring and delivers him an AA, while Paul rolls Jey in and hits him with his metal hand. Cena calls the crowd losers and hypocrites, with SmackDown going off the air with the new besties holding the titles above their heads.
I just think they fill this show out sometimes. I mean, if you disagree, then let us know, but I know they're promoting the next AAA match, Worlds Collide, and obviously Money in the Bank. I get that, but there's just too much nonsense that you don't need. I mean, LA Knight coming out, calling out all 5 of his opponents. You don't really need that. Just start, I'm going to win Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And then just get on with your match.
And your Penta Andrade match, that
wasn't
necessarily needed.
No, but they've got to show that all they can coexist. But I think it was all the setup for Seth to show, which I did like. As I say, I love Seth coming in, but then they're all in the same place, so they're all going to be interacting and mingling, which I like. As I say, the only problem at the start was the bloodline aren't all reading from the same page, and that's the problem with that.
I think it's Seth and Co, the alliance, as we've been calling it.
Bronson, get that trending.
Bronson. I think that is what made the show. That if there wasn't for them, I don't know what would have gone down.
No,
it'd have been a drag.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for them,
more than likely. But other than that, anyway, any thoughts or views you'd like to share? Let us know and leave them in the comments below.
Don't forget to go check out our musings video with thoughts and opinions on the last week of WWE. A new one drops every Wednesday.
And as always, and as I always say, thank you very much if you do watch.
And we'll see you Sunday for Money in the Bank.